Howdy, howdy, everyone. I have it on good authority that this is going to be the last episode.
That's right. The finale. Nahyuta's turned around, he's retracted his confession, and suddenly jumped in to lead the revolution.
Someone has to. It should be him.
Khura'in has not entirely denied her involvement in the death of Apollo's father.
But don't worry, I'll make you all have to prove it anyway.
The only thing I can think of that's left is dealing with all the mad arson. Even if there was no connection...
It just seems a little suspicious, don't you think?
I mean, Buff had the Founder's Orb. The Founder's Orb! We haven't dealt with the Founder's Orb
That's
stuff.
true!
Okay, I guess that's what we're gonna be working on now. Wow! We're the Bittersweet Gamers!
Aren't we squared?
Spirit of Justice! Grand finale! Let's go!
Also, he's the opinionator since he missed his cue that he himself gave.
We're on the final episode, does it even matter? Now, if we could just prove Khura'in's guilt, we could continue on down that road, towards the revolution Dhurke dreamed of. Towards the spirit of justice that this country needs.
Your Eminence, you have been accused of the crime committed 23 years ago. Would you like to say anything in your defense?
Oh, well, I suppose I have to at this point. Not so fast, Your
I
Majesty.
can talk slower if you want.
For the cuffs could have been stolen and used without my knowledge. So you see, they can hardly be considered proof of anything. You don't have absolute proof it was me. Something could have happened. It could have been someone who made fake cuffs, therefore, that's it.
Maybe it was the fourth channeler. Why, I believe you're right.
Maybe it was a fifth channeler, or a sixth, or a seventh one. Ah! God dang it! But we know she's guilty! Well, lawyer, is there any other evidence you would have me refute? When you present it to me, do you know what I shall say? Nope, wasn't me. Could have been someone else.
Nope, neither.
Unfortunately, this photo was the last piece of evidence Dhurke left for me. So as far as evidence goes, I've got nothing else regarding that case from the past. However, now that Prosecutor Sadmati has retracted his confession, we'll have to re-deliberate the current case from scratch. Yes, the defense speaks the truth.
But we have to go over everything again?
Well, that's not my fault. Wait, actually, I suppose it is my fault. Never mind, then. Even though it is clear who the guilty party is. Queen Khura'in! The defense accuses you of the murder of Justice Minister Inga Khura'in!
But do you have any evidence, defense?
Evidence that will prove Khura'in was the killer. There is still one more avenue for us to explore, Mr. Justice. Take a look at your court record. Oh, there is? Minister Inga's final memories. I mean, it's not Nahyuta.
That's true. Yeah, it would have to be her because Amara has an alibi. She was filling in for...
And we've already proven it wasn't Amara. We don't know where Khura'in is. It's not Dhurke.
And it wasn't Maya.
I mean, we've proved it wasn't Dhurke some time ago.
And it wasn't Maya because she was still with us as Dhurke.
So, it had to have been somebody.
Yeah!
And
although,
the
I
person...
suppose there's no proof that it was someone channeling Dhurke. Because it could have just been someone dressed up like him because of the face blindness.
In them, the minister's killer posed as Dhurke. Therefore, one must ask, how did the killer dispose of their disguise earlier? When this came up before, did the queen not say, "Don't worry about the clothes"?
I guess she did.
Hey, you're right. A lot of blood would have spattered onto the killer. So the blood-soaked clothes would have to have been dealt with somehow. If they're still around somewhere, then...
Yeah!
Huh. I was wondering what absurd idea you would concoct next, but how about this? It's my own theory. They're just gone now. Can you prove they're not? Maybe the killer ate them. Then what? Maybe there was a 27th channeler.
Plot twist, everyone in Khura'in can channel.
Clothing can be disposed of most anywhere. I doubt you could find them now. I was right! Your time was just past, gone! Then you don't know us very well. Between the two of us, we have a habit of nitpicking every minor little thing to death until something turns up. Your benevolence? Yes? On the day of your father's murder, you had been watching the courtyard from 2 p.m. Now, during that time, you saw Queen Khura'in, did you not? Yes, I did. I saw my mother entering the palace from the courtyard. But I was told not to mention it because it had nothing to do with my father's murder and...
Except it did.
Yeah, except that it did. Anyway, I didn't think it was strange being told not to mention something, so I didn't. Wait. Rayfa! You would not dare!
What, sell out her not mother who's done nothing but demean her?
But you have to do what I say! When the queen headed into the palace, did she have Dhurke's clothes in her possession? No, she did not. So maybe she disposed of them somewhere in the courtyard.
Or maybe because Inga's clothes got burned in the incense burner. There's 2 incense burners.
I told you they got burned somewhere. Why didn't you believe me?
Yeah, it's a mystery.
The police did a thorough... I don't know what that was. The police did a thorough sweep of the area following the crime.
And we can certainly trust any police directed by her.
That's why they shot Amara when I asked them to. But they did not find anything resembling Dhurke's clothes. But you knew that already, didn't you, prosecutor? Yes. I admit no clothing was found, but We Squared said something about another incense burner. So you admit that you were merely speculating. You've been hanging around BSG too long.
I assure you, he has not been hanging around us.
Yeah, if he tried, you'd just stab him in the face and throw him off a cliff and then burn him in an incense burner.
No. Yes.
Chasing phantoms and delusions of evidence that never existed. Maybe there was a 34th channeler. I almost said prosecutor.
Prosecutor, channeler, robot ninja.
Traitor. This makes no sense. Clothing doesn't just disappear like that.
If Khura'in wasn't carrying any clothes, she must have gotten rid of them somewhere. Somewhere where she thought they'd never be found.
Well, we've already looked inside the sarcophagus. Is there some reason it's not the incense burner?
Wait a minute. Is there some reason it's not the clothes off of Dhurke's corpse?
He was naked!
No, I mean, let's just take a look at this real quick.
Yeah, no, that's what it was. No, that's where I thought the naked thing, because I was trying to place the clothes.
Right.
Which is what we're trying to place now. So we didn't, because we were thinking about that, and I was joking, har, naked in the sarcophagus.
But he isn't.
No, he's not. Those sure are covered with blood.
And there's blood where he wasn't shot, too.
I like how I said, well, it wasn't the sarcophagus. But that's because I thought he was naked. Can I say naked some more?
Please don't.
Okay.
A dragon never disrobes.
What? How do you clean yourself then? How do you take a shower?
Shower?
Where they'd never be found, huh? Maybe in that obvious place where they'd never be... I believe Dhurke's clothes were hidden... We already dealt with this. Here!
The tomb? You believe the clothing was hidden there?
Well, yeah. It's the only place it can be.
Very well. Where in the tomb do you believe the clothes were hidden?
Have you not looked at the clothes of Dhurke? I mean, Damon's apparently obsessed with them.
What does that say about you?
I mean, I don't know, but I may as well ride this train till the end.
If that's what you want.
Of course. That makes perfect sense. Why am I saying it this way? That implies that I was just hoping that this would be the case after 2 successive clicks. The clothes weren't simply hidden. They were returned to where they belonged. Someone's running around naked somewhere. Ugh, that's just gross.
And by that, you mean?
The killer would have had to get Dhurke's clothes from somewhere.
I wonder if Inga was just like, I wonder why there's a pile of my wife's clothes there.
I probably had other things on his mind. Well, luckily, they were right there. Yes, of course. At the time of the minister's murder, Dhurke's body was already in the sarcophagus. So the killer could have simply borrowed his clothes. Right. Before the minister entered the tomb, the killer put on Dhurke's clothes.
That's right. Even my wife's hot sister wanted to get into my pants. Dad jokes from beyond the grave!
That is not a dad joke. By the way, you remember how I said I was going to ride this train to the end?
Dad, just derail it.
Not only that, I'm about to just leap out the caboose, come what may. And then hid behind the curtain above the sarcophagus. You guys! Why are we talking about naked dads? And after the minister was killed, Dhurke's clothes were returned to his body. So what? This is still all speculation. There could have been a 57th prosecutor lawyer channeler. We know not whether those clothes were actually used in the murder.
Except we do.
Therefore, you have no evidence, and you're guilty of it. It was you, all along.
Objection!
No, you.
That's where you're wrong. But I believe you already knew that, which is why you're grasping for such ridiculous excuses. These clothes were definitely used during the minister's murder. Because of this blood stain. Like,
right here, the one that looks significantly newer than the other ones?
And where he wasn't shot! He was shot 3 times in the chest. The blood stains on Dhurke's chest are no doubt the result of being shot by the minister. However, that doesn't explain everything. We already proved that when Dhurke was actually there, he was shot by the minister.
Yeah!
So, he couldn't have killed the minister. We already proved it wasn't Dhurke. There's also this blood spatter extending from his left elbow to his abdominal area. That had to have come from somewhere. I believe this blood spatter came from...
Bam, bam, bam!
If the killer wore these clothes during the murder of Inga, then the blood spatter must have come from the guy what got murdered. You can see it right here.
I thought it was all Dhurke's, but that makes sense. Only one way to be sure, though. Let's get those stains analyzed right away.
No, you can't do that. I say you can't.
Emma!
Indeed. This may be the conclusive evidence we need to prove the Queen's guilt. Nope! That is not happening! You cannot prove it was I who hid those clothes. I didn't do it. It was space aliens!
Now, Khura'in, look at your hair and then you talk to me of space aliens. I seem to have gotten you.
They could very well have been hidden by a third party. No, I've got it! It was Bigfoot! The plumed Punisher! The Pink Princess? But could they really? It was Rayfa all along! I'd say the possibility of someone other than Khura'in hiding the clothes... Well, it can't exist, right? Who else was there?
At the time of his murder, if what we're saying is correct, it was only her.
Like everybody else who's been around...
Was accounted for.
Yeah.
So it had to have been her.
No, it's just not possible. There isn't anybody else. Your Eminence, I recall you saying the following. I mean, you know who else it couldn't have been? Inga!
That's true!
The key to Amara's sarcophagus is under the protection of the royal family. Oh, and since this is a flashback, I'm totally going to cover my own hide and say that it was Lackey. He also had it. And he's a channeler. My husband and I are the only ones who could open it.
I've worn many hats in my time!
Therefore, it would be impossible for some knave to open it.
Ah, the best traps are the ones they themselves set.
Hoist by her own Bigfoot petard.
Oh, a Bigfoot petard!
That was your own testimony. In fact, I seem to recall that, well, maybe not the Bigfoot petard stuff, but I seem to recall that you used that to shut down us saying that oh, this has all gotten so complicated. Anyway, that was it, word for word.
Was that your flashback or my flashback?
It was space aliens.
Oh!
Why, you insolent. You know, everything that has happened here has happened because Rayfa did not do what her quote-unquote mother said.
Yeah, this is all thanks to Rayfa.
And everyone else, but it's like this point.
All of Dhurke's kids have cornered her.
Yep. Admit it. Only you could have hidden Dhurke's clothes after they were used in the murder. And you're not gonna blame Lackey or Bigfoot or the Predator or whatever. That means you're the one who killed Justice Minister Inga. Also, Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
I think you're projecting too much.
Sorry, since I was being proved right, I wanted to keep going. You insignificant worm. You dare accuse me, the ruler of Khura'in?
That doesn't give you immunity to doing bad things!
Also, I've never even seen Die Hard.
It's a good movie.
Do not think for one moment that such... I'm afraid such arguments are invalid here in this sacred hall, Your Eminence. You can't just go, no, you. Even monarchs aren't above the law, even if they write it. It's the end of the line for you, Queen Garan.
I mean, it's time for one final defense.
Time to come down from that lofty throne and face justice.
Yeah!
That sounds really kind of self-aggrandizing when I do it, though.
It's okay. You've earned it, Justice.
All right.
Apollo. Is she going to ascend to her boss form?
She wasn't already?
Like the ends of the hair are going to open up and form eyes.
Her own testimony from before is what put her in this corner. I mean, the irony. Me? Face justice? Surely you jest. Although I suppose I am facing justice, but that's beside the point. In any case...
Puns are fun.
Don't you understand how popular I am in this country? Especially now?
Look, we're going to tell you what we told politician Wimperson. Doesn't matter who votes for you. If you do something bad, you're going to jail.
Well, it doesn't matter who votes for me because this is an absolute monarchy. People don't vote.
I suppose that makes sense.
You are in no position to force my hand, lawyer. Oh? Surely you haven't forgotten about the Defense Culpability Act.
Which is irrelevant because we proved Dhurke did neither of the things he was accused for?
Dhurke is their client.
Dhurke was proven innocent.
Yeah,
So what is she even going on about?
Those who would support criminals will be deemed just as guilty. In short, should I be convicted of murdering my husband?
Oh, you scumbag! Because Amara helped her establish an alibi.
Goodness.
You scumbag!
You are the lowest of the low!
It's like, if we're understanding that right, she's just stretching out every last association, aiding and abetting, to tie it to everyone else. So we all have to drop it, and then we can all walk away free. You've already proven Dhurke is not guilty. Sins of the father do not pass on, therefore. So the end. We all walk. All you have to do is turn this down now. It's what she's getting at. Because the worst part is, because nobody has to pay for it if she does it this way. The all or nothing.
I wonder if she planned that this far. Or if she just was backed in the corner so much it just occurred to her.
Probably that. Your dear brother, who delivered at my instruction false testimony in my defense.
Oh, that too.
There we go. I mean, it's aiding and abetting somebody. Shall also be found guilty. Oh, I see. So the Defense Culpability Act doesn't just apply to the lawyers. The Defense Culpability Act applies to anything in the courtroom at all. What? That can't be. Has it ever been read that way? Does the law work this way? Can it really?
By delivering false testimony in the course of protecting a guilty party.
God, if that's the wording, then...
He would certainly be judged by this court as having supported a criminal.
Hold on, go to the court record.
I can't go to the court record, I'm the judge.
Not you!
Yeah, it just says those who support criminals would be deemed just as guilty.
And the Defense Culpability Act would most definitely come into play.
Well, if the judge says it without any hesitation, that is how the law works. We've just been focused on the lawyer part. But that law is so broad that anyone could be convicted under it. Oh, that law is so broad that anyone could be convicted under it.
Thank you for touching upon the primary problem with it, Apollo.
What a wonderful country.
When it comes to the DC Act, even I am conflicted, and yet, as it currently stands, it is the law of the land. And as you said earlier, no one is above the law.
And as Nahyuta said, you want it to... Well, as I said, really, if you want the law to be different, then change the law.
But the person who can change the law is the one protected by it. Of all the absurd things I've seen, this law really takes the cake.
This is ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. Look, this involves the head of state. This involves the head of state being guilty of a murder and possibly...
2 murders!
Possibly like this big conspiracy, all right?
Possibly more murders!
Wouldn't you have to just... Shouldn't the judge just say, all right, well, there are extenuating circumstances and I am not going to apply this at this time because as it turns out, I'm the judge and you know the sentencing's up to me.
Well, I should do something like that, but then where would the tension of the game be?
Your Majesty, come on! What can we even do at this point?
Don't look at me, man.
You need not look so forlorn. Like Damon said, Dhurke has been cleared of all charges. You're fine. The barbed one is fine. Rayfa is fine. So let us leave all thoughts of the killer and revolution in the past, where it belongs. The Nahyuta will be fine too. She wants us to just let her off, scot-free, and she still gets to even be the queen?
Oh, of course.
And yet, I don't see any other choice.
How could we fix this?
You don't think Nahyuta's just gonna go along with it, do you? He could say, okay, then do it.
If he feels it's the only way. Because getting rid of her, revolution's over. It wouldn't need a leader anymore.
Yeah. Therefore, he accomplished his mission. And the 2 leaders of the revolution achieved their ends and believed in those ends so much they expended their lives for it. And on top of that, even though Nahyuta was somebody who went over to the enemy side, he still, in the end, would have given his own life for the revolution. Now, obviously, if there's some other way than that, that would be the best. But we can still achieve that end. of taking down Khura'in. I'm not suggesting this. I'm saying you don't think Nahyuta's gonna go along with it, do you? And you can come up with a plausible reason that he could.
Yeah.
I ain't saying that's what I want or that we ought to, but it's sort of like at a point like this, you also got to think about winning. Do not misinterpret what I'm saying, please.
Yeah.
We cannot yield to her here, Apollo. If it will move the revolution forward, I will gladly face the DC Act. Now, do it! Accuse Queen Khura'in of the crime she has committed. If this will allow us to win, if this will allow my father, our father, to rest in peace, then do it! But...
You!
What you speak of is not revolution! Our kingdom will not function without its sovereign!
It can function without the DC Act.
And Rayfa cannot ascend to the throne, for she is as yet incapable of channeling spirits. And we can fix that.
We can.
Thus, to accuse me is to wish destruction upon our fair kingdom, you terrorist!
Terrorist.
Terrorist? If you would still insist on accusing me, then as ruling sovereign of Khura'in, I proclaim the following.
Let me just mark this and
I can get away with murder once, the end. Or some ridiculous garbage, but no one would listen to this. All who imperil the crown, no matter the reason, shall be subject to immediate execution upon the Queen's orders. You'll go down with me. Just like we were initially saying, she just had to rewrite the law to make it like that.
That is such BS.
That's why she has to be gotten rid of. Who is worse, her or Inga?
Her! Without a doubt!
And Inga was...
I can kind of believe that Inga was planning a coup now.
Inga was pretty bad. I mean, he was illegally persecuting his own citizens and killing people. Hard to not really support his coup, but you know, he could have gone along with the revolution too, couldn't he?
Could have.
So he was doing his own garbage. He was corrupt. And
paid for it.
And he was a horrible man, and he paid for it.
By being killed by the greater evil.
But, I will tell you what, his goal at the end was kind of the same as ours.
Yeah?
I cannot imagine how it was not to put Rayfa on the throne.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
At least he loved Rayfa, who wasn't even his biological daughter.
I know!
And compared to Khura'in, who's just done nothing but take a massive amount of the brown stuff we all know and love and fire it repeatedly out of a strangely shaped cannon all over Rayfa.
I feel somewhat compelled to be in this game. Shit!
Enough of you! Anyway, not trying to say Inga's good, but I said better. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen! You are the most unjust, evil, immediate execution! Do you still not comprehend? Then let me be clear. For the sake of this kingdom's future, if you kill me, you die too. And in accordance with the laws of Khura'in, I command that you be put to death at once! One of the guards, do it.
Oh!
Whatever it takes. What the? What are you gonna do, Nahyuta? Well, that, I guess. Yes?
That scared me.
Yeah, I looked over at Billy and he had this terrified look on his face. Isn't this going a bit too far? At least all the other courtrooms we've been in and all the other cases we've done, we were never threatened with this.
Why is the Khura'in Royal Guard?
They were on standby in case of an attack by foolishly optimistic terrorists. Which, by law, I have now decreed that you are. Now, if you would continue to oppose me, the very embodiment of the law, then under my regal authority, you shall all be put to death.
Oh, she's got an evil cackle.
Oh, yeah. Oh, come on. This is insane, even for you. After all that happened here, if you kill us now, what do you think is gonna happen to the revolution?
I should just have them all killed too.
There's no way. This is it. She is done. She's gonna have to kill the judge and the whole gallery in order to get out of this. There is no way that the people outside or in the rest of the country are just gonna let this go.
You're right. This is too much.
You can't possibly get away with something like this. This is a court of law. You can't just order our execution without due process.
Now look, Apollo. Truth and due process are certainly important. But so is your life. So think before you speak again.
Mr. Wright, but... Please, Apollo. Do not make this any worse than it already is. I cannot lose you to the Twilight Realm too. What am I supposed to do? How do I win against an opponent that can just rewrite the law as she sees fit? How can I ever bring her to justice?
By channeling the Holy Mother. By channeling the Holy Mother.
We had said
and guess what?
We'd said some time ago that we knew that was gonna happen, and then we just forgot about it. Like you said. Well, guess what? Is this really how it all ends? We have the name because of Amara.
And we've got her face because of the statue.
And we have a channeler because of Maya.
Mm-hmm. There you go!
We've got it! Who can be higher than I? The Queen! The law itself! It is your life or your accusation, lawyer. You cannot hope for both. It is time to cease this insanity. What do I do? Should I accuse Queen Khura'in? Time for an emergency bad end save. One's gonna show up eventually, right? If we accuse, I can't imagine any other way out of this.
That has to be how we get her.
And it has to involve the Founder's Orb somehow. But if we accuse, it's not like we have any idea. Like, none of the characters have come up with this idea, even though we have. And furthermore,
that's true.
Furthermore, Amara, who is necessary for it, is in the hospital, after having been shot a few hours ago.
That's true. But if we give up, will we have another chance?
I mean, that's why we did the emergency bad end save. All I'm getting at is, if we accuse, aren't we actually waiting for someone to come up with this idea? And everyone was like, Apollo, you have to stop. I am extremely interested to see what's going to happen, but I do want to see what the other option is. So, I think we should accuse.
I agree with you.
We'll know if it's right or wrong pretty fast.
Uh-huh.
If it is too reckless, well, so be it. Everyone's telling you to stop, but if we give up, what's that going to accomplish?
It won't accomplish anything.
It does seem to me, and I'm not criticizing this, not at this time, but it does seem to me that whatever we pick, the only way we can actually move forward, and I'm talking about the story here, not our actions as the player picking one of these options. It seems that the only way we can move forward is for somebody to go, hold it, and present the idea.
Yeah.
Or maybe it would even be like, no, I'm not giving up yet, Apollo. Whoosh, whoosh, think around, think things through. Wait a minute, there's one thing we haven't tried
Change
yet.
your perspective.
Yeah, so that person who says hold it could be Apollo.
I'm really nervous.
Anyway, enough of that. Let's do it.
J'accuse!
If we let this go now, we'll all regret it for the rest of our lives. If we fail,
we'll regret it for the rest of our lives.
They just won't be very long in that case. I know what I have to do. Mr. Wright, you know that saying you're constantly reminding me and Athena of? The worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles.
You never fail to surprise me, Apollo.
And Nahyuta. You know that creed we've known ever since we were kids? A dragon never yields. Apollo. They are not merely words. They are what's carried us this far. So now, it's time to honor these words and the memories of the ones who gave them to us, the ones who gave their lives for us.
I couldn't agree with you more, Apollo. Those words are more important to me than you know. And if there's any time to remember them, it's now.
This is the worst of times. It would seem, Apollo, that not one but two auspicious creatures dwell deep within you. A fierce dragon and a virtuous phoenix that shall scatter the clouds hiding the heavens.
You sure are a smooth talker, Nahyuta.
Mr. Wright, if you ever talk like that again, I shall join you in your death-defying bluff. I think I finally understand what those words really mean, and the resolve they embody. Are you smiling? Are you smiling at me? Even in the face of certain doom? Is there no end to your defiance?
Well, they're not called the compliant dragons.
Unfortunately for you, no. I won't let fear or even the law force me to abandon the pursuit of truth. Because there is another saying in my country: the truth will set you free. Indeed. That is precisely what Dhurke sought to do through this trial. He wished for us to break free from a certain despicable spiders immobilizing silk threads.
We won't be intimidated by unjust laws or give in to fear. Abandoning the truth like that is just not a part of my playbook.
There is only one path before us: revolution. The time to make Dhurke's dream a reality is upon us. Your Eminence, if you are the law here in Khura'in, then your very existence is wrong!
Yeah!
Well, how does that help us, though? Does your desperate bleating know no end? No matter how much you insult me, it's not going to change the circumstances.
I know it's a bit late to ask, but what's the plan?
Well, if Khura'in is going to execute us on the spot under the Defense Culpability Act, and the law itself derives its power from the authority of the Crown, then there's only one thing to do. We dethrone her. Oh, they are going that route. We were right the first time. Make Rayfa the queen. We dethrone her. Right here, right now.
All right, but how?
We have Maya channel the Holy Mother and give the spiritual power to Rayfa and declare her successor.
It's not like we have a lot of time to come up with a way to do it either. I doubt she'll allow you to perform another cross-examination while we think.
Don't worry. I've been listening to BSG, and this time around, I'm pretty sure they're onto something. This time. We'll be fine. We can't give up. Not now! We have to keep on fighting to the end! We can't allow these broken trials to go on! It's time to make things right! And here we go. If I accuse Khura'in, Nahyuta will be subject to the Defense Culpability Act, which means he will be put to death in accordance with the law. So the only way out of this is to dethrone Khura'in right now. Could this be the key to dethroning Khura'in?
If what we're saying is correct, then all of these are true.
The orb? I mean, you're right.
I want
you're
to
right.
say the orb.
You're right. I mean, all of them are true.
Whew.
I wouldn't have been upset because they're all true. Is the Founder's Orb the key to the revolution? Dhurke was convinced that the orb is the key to the revolution and Khura'in's future. In light of Garon's obsession with the orb, it makes a large amount of sense.
It's a threat to her power.
Even Inga was doing everything he could to get a hold of it. Why? For a coup! Well, what are we attempting?
A coup! That's sort of, I mean, we're not citizens.
No,
of the-
we are attempting a coup right now!
Okay.
She probably doesn't want anyone using it to gain spiritual powers and rights to the throne. Inga definitely tried to do just that, but that's where it starts to fall apart. Inga couldn't have channeled the Founder, even after abducting Miss Faye. After all, he did not know the Founder's name. Our way through that when we were initially theorizing about it was by saying it might be the same as Lady Kira, but that was just a type of speculation.
Right,
But the
right.
thing is now we have a previous queen on our side.
Yes.
The name of the Founder is only known to those who become queen. That means the only people who currently know her name are Garon and Amara. So even if someone else had the orb, they wouldn't be able to channel the Founder. So that begs the question, why is Garon so fixated on the orb? Okay, let's not overthink this. Garon is obsessed with the orb because... Not overthink this.
Well, she can channel spirits. Otherwise, our whole accusation falls apart.
I mean, there's no reason to not think that it's a national treasure. She wants to clear her name from what? That's not going to help right now. Like he said, let's not overthink it. They do want this thing.
I guess because it's a national treasure, because she wanted it before these accusations even came up.
I mean, how much greater would her own prestige be?
Yeah! So it's a national treasure.
That's what I'm thinking. No?
Wow.
Okay, well, I guess we'll try clearing her name then.
That's the only other one it could be.
We know she can, well, maybe she can't channel spirits, but why would we assume she can't? Is it because she came to the throne at a greater age? She wasn't she wasn't the high priestess, royal priestess. She wasn't in the position that Rayfa was in. Maybe she doesn't have spiritual power.
But
That is out of nowhere, though.
if she didn't channel Dhurke, then when Inga looked at her, he would see a full-bodied woman dressed as Dhurke, and not Dhurke. She has to be able to channel spirits.
So, what does she need to have her name cleared from? I mean, but this isn't why she would want it.
So it has to be she wants to clear her name.
Can't think of anything else.
What the?
Well, the thing is, must have been the other because we never actually proved it.
My mind.
I mean, it has been some time. Who was it that was, I mean, like you said, that had to have been...
The whole basis of our accusation is that she could channel spirits.
How would Inga have missed the fine arts that she's so proud of?
Yeah! I mean, I suppose she could have had one of her schmucks dress up as Dhurke.
Maybe at this point we actually have... It is a detail that we already noticed and then forgot about due to the passage of time over the holidays. Okay, so after overthinking this, let's not overthink this. I guess Garon's obsessed with the orb because she can't channel spirits? Garon wants spiritual power. I mean, our plan for the coup is to give it to Rayfa. Could it be? It's hard to believe, but... if she wants spiritual power, does that mean Garon can't channel spirits? The logic follows, but what about the who killed Inga?
Yeah!
How can we prove it was Garon that killed Inga?
If she can't channel Dhurke.
That would explain why she had Amara perform the rite of channeling. But is that why she let Amara live? To stand in for her when the time came to channel spirits? But what about the Dhurke thing, then? If Garon can't channel spirits, she'd have no claim to the throne. Garon has no claim to the throne. She basically murdered her way here in the first place. Khura'in's Defense Culpability Act was established under the Crown's authority.
Which means it's irrelevant.
But if she has no claim to said crown, then the DC Act would become null and void. No one would need to be pardoned because every one of these convictions would just be overturned on them all being illegitimate in the first place. By accepting a pardon, you are admitting guilt.
I see. Yeah.
So this also means nobody would even have been guilty. The whole thing is over. It's all done. It solves everything. But then when she disguised herself...
Yeah!
The hair I can see. The face I can see. But what about the...
She's not a big, muscly man! Inga has face blindness, not body blindness.
Well, even if we ignore that part, there's the facial tattoos and...
Yeah?
And it always comes down to this. But I'm not the reason it comes down to this.
I don't believe you.
I'm not. I'm not the reason it comes down to this, darn it. And boobs. No. Not just a DC Act. All of the insane laws she's enacted would be swept away in one fell swoop. Okay, this is gonna take a lot of freaking balls. Make sure to do this right.
You mess with the Apollo, you get the horns?
Hey, I kind of like that. You claim the authority of the crown? You, of all people? Please be right, please be right, please be right. Biggest bluff ever, Justice. That's a good one. Have you truly lost it, lawyer? You understand how long I've been queen, yes?
Indeed. I would have the defense explain himself at once. Before you got shot, preferably.
It's easy, Your Majesty. Why is Queen Khura'in so obsessed with the Founder's Orb? Why did she let Queen Amara live? Don't you guys think it's weird that the previous queen is still alive?
I found it a little strange too, yeah?
Especially when considering we are accusing her. You're like, Amara was there, and we're saying Khura'in was there because of the cuffs, see? Like, if she wanted to kill her, she could have and should have right there if she wanted to become queen or something, right?
Uh-huh.
Why was she having her mercifulness, Queen Amara, perform the rite of channeling in her place? The answers to these three questions point to a single conclusion. A fact that will shake this kingdom to its very core. I still do not follow, Apollo.
Neither do I, but that's about standard.
We kind of didn't either.
Yeah!
Your Eminence, I have just one question for you, and... Please be honest. You can't actually channel spirits, can you? What? What? You believe the Queen is not capable of communing with the dead?
Now hold on just a minute! The defense will explain himself at once! I'm so confused.
In Khura'in, the ability to channel spirits is an absolute requirement for a would-be queen. But Your Eminence, if you were incapable of doing that, then you'd have no claim to the throne. But you wanted it really bad. Not only that, but since you'd have no claim to the throne, every law you've passed would be rendered null and void. What on earth? And you, the Grand Royal Guard. You seem to be rather enamored with the Queen's supposed spiritual power.
Spiritual power.
But what if she had none? You guys think you'd be let off the hook for the things you may have done? Such as shoot Amara?
I mean, well, if you put it like that.
What if she were just an ordinary person? A pretender to the throne? Would you still have loyalty to her then? Such blasphemy! On what grounds do you make such a defamatory claim? Queen Khura'in, if you think I'm just out to defame you, this is really easy. Just prove it. All you gotta do is channel a spirit. Prove it using this piece of evidence you want so badly. All the conditions for summoning the Founder should be in place. With the orb, we know what the Founder looks like. And as Queen, you should know the Founder's name. Now, if you would, Your Eminence, and remember, if you pull it off, looks like we all die.
Yeah. Time to sink or swim. It's a swimming joke.
Either you win,
or you lose.
Please show us the great spiritual power you bear as Grand Priestess of Khura'in. You can, can't you? Oh!
The Holy Mother will appear before us! Oh, great miracle of miracles! Praise be, Your Eminence! Wait, I got arrested. May almighty spiritual power show us the way!
You probably got pardoned already.
It's the return of the Popeye laugh.
Urdi Dihara Garan! Oh, shut up! Enough, I say, you mindless cretins! Go find someone else to terrorize and shoot or something!
Your Eminence, can it be that you cannot?
Here it is, Your Eminence! The Founder's Orb! You want it, don't ya?
Come on!
No, I... Maybe there's 151 channelers here in Khura'in. I want a lawyer. Summon a lawyer to me at once.
Well...
Wait, there are no lawyers. Aren't you forgetting something? There aren't any lawyers left in Khura'in. Thanks to you!
Your Zuma won't save you now.
You can thank your Defense Culpability Act for that. Your Eminence, please give us a glimpse of your magnificent spiritual power!
Summon her holiness so she may guide us!
Won't this be one for the history books?
Yeah.
I have heard enough from you! Out of my sight, all of you! I mean, wouldn't she be empirically proving the truth of her religion by doing that?
She would?
If you are truly capable of channeling spirits, then get on with it already, Your Eminence! You sneaky, underhanded wretch of a lawyer! That reminds me. You said something to this effect earlier. It is time to cease this insanity. Don't you feel stupid for saying that now?
Trapping her with her own words.
Over and over again. Indeed. Of all the things she has said, I can think of nothing more ludicrous. It is time.
Yeah, say it!
For the Queen to let it all go. Absolutely all of it. And move on, bitches. Apollo, teach this deceitful, putrid queen a lesson she won't soon forget. Gladly, because it really is time to cease this insanity. Khura'in, your reign of terror ends here!
His voice! Oh, here it comes, the breakdown.
This is so action-packed for one of these games. Very well. Demonstrating my ability as a... I missed a line. What do you
Faculty.
want? Behold the magnificent power to commune with the dead!
Oh, Your Eminence!
I see. So this is going to be her breakdown, is it? O great spirit of the Founder who dwells in the Twilight Realm, heed the secret covenant of the orb and appear here before us.
Oh, here it comes!
I just gotta believe. Ah! If I curl my hair hard enough.
Well, what's wrong? Are you not feeling well? You need a shoulder rub.
It's now or never! Oh, spirit of the founder, grace us with your presence. The time is now. I beseech you, appear before us. Eat my coal! Why? Why won't you ever? Why haven't you ever done it?
So,
No, wait, I'm just not down. I was just warming up. Rayfa takes longer than that. The rite actually starts from now. Look, I'm speaking Khura'inese. Holy.
okay.
There.
Oh, she fell in the pool of...
Uh-oh, isn't that really bad?
It's pretty shallow, I think. See, she's fine.
Shouldn't you, not fall in there? Isn't that sort of like the pool of the dead? I mean, she's not gonna fall over dead, but it's like...
Yeah, that's probably not very,
She's, dead to this country now.
Prosecutor Saudmati, how is her evidence?
So that breakdown, while not the most amazing breakdown ever, I'd say...
I think it's pretty appropriate.
I was gonna think about some of the other breakdowns I enjoyed, but it was the most fitting.
It was pathetic.
It
was pathetic.
It seems she now believes that she herself is the Holy Mother. I told her to let it all go and move on, and it appears that she actually took that advice literally.
I see, but her attempted spirit channeling failed, did it not?
Unless she's a direct clone of the Holy Mother. Sadly, she seems unable to accept the facts. I fear it will be quite a challenge to question her later.
Well, I mean, y'all basically... And what, if I may ask, was her motive? I understand that she killed Minister Inga in order to prevent his coup d'etat. But what of her attempt to assassinate Queen Amara 23 years ago?
So, I know I'm gonna feel silly about it later, but how could she have been in those clothes?
I feel like that's a big plot hole!
All they gotta do is just address it with one little line,
That's all they gotta do!
or there is something that we forgot that because of the extra time.
Maybe!
I'm totally willing to accept that, and well, such is the risk of, doing a Let's Play around the holiday season when
we only have like a day a week to do it.
Yeah. Anyway. To become queen herself? Maybe, just like everyone has been assuming this whole time, seeing as she was a really terrible person, she just craved power and attention. She likely developed a psychological complex from her inability to channel spirits.
And that also adds to why she was such a meanie face to Rayfa. Jealousy.
That is why she kept Queen Amara alive to perform the rite of channeling for her. In that way, it would seem as if she had great spiritual power. In short, she built a cult of personality upon, someone else's personality. More specifically, though, on fear and lies. Then again, do not all tyrants?
And by making Amara think that she saved her from an assassination attempt, that's why Amara was complicit in it. So then, she never really intended to kill Amara, huh?
What I don't understand is why Queen Amara ever listened to Khura'in in the first place. Once she ran off with Dhurke and they had Rayfa.
Right? That seems weird.
What would change after that? The succession. She still wanted the throne to go to Rayfa.
Okay, alright, that makes sense, yeah.
Same thing, same way they got Nahyuta. Especially 14 years ago, before Rayfa was being held hostage. Why would she keep letting the people of Khura'in think she was dead? Well, she kept quietly performing the rite of channeling for Khura'in. My mother is a gentle soul by nature, except when she does that crazy lightning bolt thing, and loves her sister dearly. So, when Khura'in told her to hide because Dhurke was out to kill her, she believed it. But after that...
Yeah.
What's more, she did not wish to tarnish the name of her beloved sister. That is why she acquiesced so obediently to Garon's request to keep channeling for her. Until she fled with Dhurke and was told the truth, that is. So that's what happened.
And since Rayfa was being held captive, I imagine Amara had no choice but to help cover up the truth behind Inga's murder.
Yeah, living secretly as Rayfa's servant Naina, no doubt only deepened her love for her daughter. She'd do anything to keep her safe.
All the more reason to hide the painful truth from her.
Well, that was a case for the ages, to put it lightly.
Seemed to end in a less dramatic way than expected, but...
Prosecutor Sadmati has been cleared of all suspicion in the murder of Minister Inga. As has Mr. Dhurke Sadmati in the assassination attempt on Queen Amara.
Any lawyers in jail?
Not anymore.
Well, I mean, it's gonna be a really busy week, or maybe not that busy week of processing, I suppose.
Now then, I think it is high time I handed down my verdict on Dhurke and Nahyuta Sadmati.
Not guilty!
Booyah!
How poetic. Well, Dhurke, I guess everything went the way you wanted. I'm sure you would have rather been alive, but... Dhurke, I hope you're watching. I proved your innocence. And I guess even if you're not watching, we can show off to you later because we can channel the dead.
Well, I mean, you know.
Nahyuta's smiling again. Him, of all people. And that revolution you've always dreamed of is finally happening.
With this, may I finally say, this court is adjourned.
And was that not crazy, Your Majesty?
Oh, don't get me started. I'll be talking to the wife for hours.
It is, however, kind of a shame that Nahyuta had his face turn right at the end, and that was really that.
Yeah, just didn't quite seem like as big a thing.
Like, I understand that he doesn't exactly have the greatest reputation. He's not the most well-liked of the prosecutors. It kind of feels to me like he just didn't quite get enough time compared to... Well, Franziska's one thing, but nobody can say she hasn't gotten enough time.
That's
She's
true.
been in several games, but like Edgeworth, Godot, Blackquill, they got all the time they needed.
And it just seems like his adversarialness wasn't as up to snuff comparatively to them too.
Yeah. Well, it peaked. It peaked earlier in the game.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm actually surprised. I'm genuinely surprised that it ended as fast as it did. I was expecting like one more big testimony.
Me too.
It kind of seems like they didn't push a couple ideas all the way to their end and cut it a bit short. Not saying that it felt unnatural or if there's something that they missed, or, I mean, other than what we did say.
Right.
Just feels a little more abrupt than I wanted, I guess.
Maybe not quite as satisfying.
That's, however, not to say
it wasn't satisfying.
yes, because actually that was pretty freaking awesome. On the whole, I think the final case is very probably the best final case because it has the most insane twists and turns. But the end of the final case can't compare to the end of the final case in Trials and Tribulations. Like, period, full stop. I do actually think this case as a whole was better. And Billy, I'm sure you don't remember the end of the case of Trial and Tribulations, but boy, it were crazy. So, I guess that means we won. Let's wrap this puppy up.
All right. Way to go, Apollo!
Who are you again? I was on the edge of my seat when those guards stormed the courtroom. That was a shocker, all right. Unlike Mr. Wright, I've never been whipped in the face, but I have never had a gun pointed at me in court before. Can't imagine anything like that happening back home.
I hope it doesn't set a precedent.
I know, right? I was ready to go on down there and teach them a lesson myself. Really? Yeah, I was gonna spirit channel some really cool person and,
I was barely able to hold her back.
Hold me back? You were about to go ballistic after a while there, Athena. I bet you'd take out at least one of them, too.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about helping you smack a few of them down, to be honest.
Okay, so remind me to never say or do anything to deserve a Maya-Athena double suplex, because I'm kind of a wimp. Maya's sort of crazy, and Athena's athletic, so I will be pounded into paste.
This is an understatement, but you did a fine job out there today, Apollo. You literally saved all our necks.
I never would have expected that I would have ended up being the main character of this game, Mr. Wright. We all thought it was going to be you again. Thanks for all the great advice, Mr. Wright.
Nah, it was all you.
Well,
That perseverance and never say die attitude you showed was impressive.
Yeah,
Literally.
I guess it really was all me, wasn't it? Every last bit of it was all me, because I've been screwed over for every game I've appeared in. I wasn't really the main character in the game with my name on it, and I was relegated to a position worse than Athena's in the last game I was in, so it's about time I had my comeuppance. You should all bow and scrape before me and my two horns of, I can't believe you've let me go on this long.
You deserved it.
Why do you say that?
I actually learned a thing or two myself.
What? For me? That's a laugh.
There were any number of times where I wouldn't have blamed you for giving up, but you stuck it out to the end and came away triumphant. By sheer force of will and inner strength forged in countless trials, you overcame the most desperate and hopeless situation I've ever seen.
I don't know about all that.
I mean it.
I did go on for a long time, but...
You've really come a long way, Apollo. You're no longer a rookie. I've nothing but respect for your abilities as an attorney.
Really? Aren't you exaggerating just a little bit, Mr. Wright? I mean, you're the legendary Phoenix Wright.
And you beat me.
You did it, Apollo. You finally won his seal of approval. He's thought you were dirt this whole time. I know.
Maya.
I know for a fact, too. He told me. What about me, Nick? My channeling's come a long way, too, huh? After all, I was deemed worthy enough to be used in 2 major crimes already.
Don't refer to yourself as some sort of evidence gatherer.
I have every right to say anything like this that I want, because I keep getting blamed for murder and on trial for it.
Yeah, and 2 major chances for me to become someone for you to channel next.
Oh, that'd be creepy. Honestly, I couldn't have done this without the support of each and every person here.
Even me?
Mr. Wright, Athena, Nahyuta, and of course, Dhurke.
That was pretty cool, Polly.
Trucy?
Trucy? What are you doing here? I don't know. It's magic.
I'm afraid she employed the old let's stow away in Mr. Edgeworth's suitcase trick. What?
I've been hiding there the entire time.
If you can believe it, it actually worked. Though it certainly explained why my suitcase was so heavy. I suppose I could have tried to figure out why, but...
He noticed when he went for a spare cravat.
Tell me you at least noticed it was heavier than usual.
I am a fairly heavy packer. Trucy? You know, thinking about it, he might be a heavy packer. He was the one complaining about all the lack of comforts.
That's true, that's true.
In the temple. Trucy, do you even have a passport?
Well, the thing is, my magic panties are an extra-dimensional space. It's like a mini-universe in there.
Mr. Edgeworth will be counting on you to help Trucy get out of the country too, okay?
I could produce a passport at the drop of my hat.
It'd be someone else's, but... Right, okay. Maybe some things in this world are better left of mystery. horned head, barbed head.
Spider leg head. Cravat head.
My head does not look like a cravat, though I see what you mean about the others. I'm forever in your debt for what you've accomplished in this Hall of Justice.
Especially since your next queen.
Oh yes, there's that! Without your presence, I may never have changed as I have this day. It's pathetic, I know. That's where you're wrong, your benevolence. It was you who changed yourself.
Yeah, she's the one who came through and helped us win.
This entire time, the entire game, even when she was following around Phoenix in Chapter 2, she did not have to do that.
Right.
She went out because she was curious and wanted to see.
She never backed away.
And what she saw did make her think of different things, and that's what led her here. She also, aside from the whole ascend to the throne, whoa, we're pretty young here, aren't we, thing.
Mara can take over for now.
Maybe... Anyway, aside from the succession thing...
Yeah.
She also found out that Nana, who she always loved, is actually her mom.
Who watched over her the entire time.
Like, that's pretty good for her. The mom that she hated is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And the mom that loved her actually is her mom!
Yeah!
Only you could choose to defy Garan, and you did that, and you saved us all.
It was pretty excellent.
That decision was yours, and yours alone.
That's right. All we did was present you with an opportunity. And you made use of it with gusto. This victory is yours, your benevolence. You should be proud of yourself.
I see. So, I'm worthy of my title after all.
There's the tsundere.
I shall work to heal our kingdom so that it may know peace and prosperity once more.
That shouldn't be so hard without Garan.
Yeah, it's gonna naturally get better on its own, for one. She sure bounced back quick, but...
Oh, she's good at that.
She deserves it.
Yeah.
Everything that's happened to her. If she wants to gloat a little bit, she's earned that. I mean, doesn't she need to? So, your benevolence, I take it you learned the truth of your origins? That you are the daughter of Dhurke and Queen Amara? Yes. My mother, I mean, Her Eminence told me. She said it was a part of my disciplining. If you can call it that.
Sounds more like blackmail. Keep quiet or I'll tell everyone you're the daughter of a criminal. Just like Ron.
Yeah, just like her. My mother was so insufferable. Or should I say my former mother. Sounds like there was no love lost there.
Wasn't any love there.
But, you know, I don't know, Rayfa probably did love her.
Rayfa's a good kid.
But you cleared Dhurke's name. My true father will no longer be known as a criminal. Therefore, I have nothing more to fear. And I guess Inga would also... Well, I guess she also got absolute proof that Inga thought of her as his daughter, too.
That was so obvious, just from the letters in the safe.
Whatever else you want to say, they did have that connection and it was real. So,
He's still a scumbag.
Oh yeah, he's still a scumbag.
But he was nice to Maya, nice to her.
Just because he's a scumbag doesn't mean that...
He's still human.
Yeah. It doesn't mean the things that he did towards her and their relationship was fake.
Right.
So, what's next for the Kingdom of Khura'in?
A lawsuit against the Steel Samurai.
You're gonna lose that one. I mean, you lost your queen, so... Her benevolence, Princess Rayfa, will ascend to the throne. We kept saying it over and over. It turns out all our stuff with the coup never really got talked about.
Yeah.
Okay, that had to have been what Inga was doing. Maybe it wasn't. Okay, maybe...
I kind of feel like it was, since there wasn't anything that refuted it. That would kind of mean that it would have to be the case.
I'd like to think so, anyway. Well, what was he gonna get out of the Founder's Orb, otherwise?
Getting her spirit...
And, well, I'm saying, what if that's not true?
Ah.
I'm not trying to circle jerk our own idea about that. I mean, what else could he have gotten with the Founder's Orb? Why would he give it to himself if he could have given it to his treasure who does his bidding?
Yeah.
Anyway, enough of that. Nahyuta, but she can't channel spirits yet, right? Indeed. Which is why I will act as regent on her behalf. Until the day she comes into her own. I mean, she's only 14.
Right?
Nobody assumed she would not be able to. She clearly can.
It's a matter of time.
She just needs the training.
I mean, she can do the divination seance. That's proof of her spiritual powers.
Yeah. And who could she have gotten training from?
Must have been Nana.
How could she have gotten training from Nana? Wouldn't that mean the jig was up?
Well, she couldn't have got it from a Khura'in.
I'm saying she never got training.
Oh, I see.
Yes. Your help will be greatly appreciated, prosecutors.
Ba 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 ba. Hey, good eye roll.
She is going to pop a vein in her forehead as she attempts to say what we all know she's going to. What are you looking at, you horn-headed nincompoop?
Good, she changed the subject.
Ow, you gave me the katong!
It hurts, doesn't it?
Maybe I'll call him Braid Head or Magically Floating Shawl Head. In any event, I will be assisted by Magically Floating Shawl Head and Queen Amara for the time being. Queen Amara? Our country offers consul to the what?
Get it together, your benevolence.
Our country offers counsel to the rulers of neighboring kingdoms through channeling. It is a duty I intend to fulfill myself one day, and somebody sort of has to do it, so why not have the person who's been doing it for the last more than 23 years because she was queen. Before that. But for now, I will have Queen Amara assist me in that capacity. I guess I can't call her Queen Mother or something.
So then she's going to be alright? Because we never got any confirmation about that.
We were just hoping? Yes, it seems the bullet went straight through her without doing any serious damage. That is a relief.
Whew. You're telling me I was on the other side.
You did it, AJ! Thanks to you, both Dhurke and Nahyuta beat the charges against them. And you got the revolution rolling to boot. The revolution. Dhurke. I guess you were right to believe in me after all. I guess I needed it too. Yes, sirree! There's gonna be some major changes around here! Soda pop from all the water fountains, and, I can't think of anything else silly like that, so I'll just stop. The legal system's gonna return to its rightful state, like how Dhurke always wanted. And the name of Apollo Justice will go down in Khura'inese history!
That's awesome.
Yeah, right, except, actually, I guess you're probably right. Nahyuta, before I forget, there was something I want to give you before I head back home. You wish to give me something? Yes. As Dhurke's birth son, I think you should have this.
It's gotta be his badge, right?
I have never gotten one of these wrong, but they give me a heart attack every time. I don't know what happens if you get them wrong. Like one of the end of the trial present the evidences.
Yeah.
This is Dhurke's. I have to get back to the States. For some reason. And I know you're a prosecutor and all, but as the man that's going to change Khura'in, it's only right that you have it. To change Khura'in. I've been something of a jerk for a long time. Do I even have that right?
You can it's never too late to start doing the right thing.
Yeah, in Dhurke's place. It's never too late to start doing the right thing. Apollo, I am afraid I must refuse your gift. What? Why?
He doesn't feel he's worthy?
There is something I would like to show you.
Huh.
What's this all of a sudden? Just so I can get this out of the way now before the next major point comes up then, I guess all those arsons were just coincidental?
Probably, but those are some crazy coincidences, how they all seem to match up, wasn't it?
Yeah. Mr. Wright, won't you and your friends please join us?
Oh, sure.
So why'd you bring us here, Nahyuta? Is it like you knew about this place the whole time and decided not to say anything?
Probably.
Apollo, I want you to stay here in Khura'in. What?
Take over Dhurke's office.
But why? We have lost our queen. You have to be right. We have lost our queen, and our kingdom stands at a crossroads. Most of all, we will need to rebuild our entire legal system. Naturally, that includes the reintroduction of lawyers to the court. Wait, you're not asking me to do all that, are you?
Wow.
Yes. I want you to take over this law office. With you as a lawyer, with the prestige that you have undoubtedly earned in this country, with the fact that you may as well be a citizen from birth of this country, and with me as a prosecutor, we shall rebuild Khura'in's legal system from the ground up. You want me to help you rebuild the legal system? Do I even have that right? I've only been an attorney for so long.
Yeah, but you dethroned a despot.
Again, what he gained from this is the prestige. Like you said, he dethroned a despot. It doesn't matter how long he's been doing it. To the people of Khura'in, to the royal family of Khura'in, and to people on one side of the revolution or the other,
He's kind of a hero.
he has legitimacy in terms of his actions as a lawyer. So
Yeah.
there isn't anybody else who would be trusted. Furthermore, Dhurke was the husband of Amara,
Yeah.
and his kids are
Yeah.
going to be on, his son is going to be the regent, his daughter is going to be on the throne, and Amara is still there. And Apollo's his adopted son? Can there be any more legitimate way for this to turn out? The question is, so Apollo should take it unless he can come up with a reason to leave.
Yeah, I kind of feel like he should too.
It's a chance to reconcile with his lost past. What's he gonna lose? I mean, it's hard to change everything about where you are, but it's like it's only been a few years, and
I mean, with how easy it is to travel places, it's not like he can't just go and visit Phoenix and the agency whenever he wants.
yeah, like it's not gonna be a problem.
Or vice versa.
That's a lot to take in out of nowhere like that. Are we gonna return to the status quo or not, I suppose?
Yeah.
Or is this their way of conveniently writing Apollo out of the series?
Oh,
that concluded his character arc.
That would kind of suck, I think.
Apollo, I cannot do this without you. As a lawyer, you are Dhurke's spiritual heir. And having studied in America or wherever, your legal knowledge will be indispensable. This is way out of my league. This is the thing that I think he should step up and do it.
I kind of agree.
It's not saying that it won't be hard, but
just because it's going to be hard doesn't mean that he shouldn't do it.
I'm not talking about status hunting. I mean, he'd have that.
Yeah.
But he happens to be like the one person that his name will go down in history, and he happens to be like one of like the one person that half or 2/3 or something of the population will actually respect to do this.
Yeah.
It's more like you can't be allowed to refuse. The revolution is still in its infancy. But it was Dhurke's dream to restore the legal system to its rightful state. Will you not help me realize that dream? Come on, AJ. You know it's what Dhurke would have wanted. Let's do it together. You know we'll all accept you. You must be taken aback by my sudden request, but please, give it some thought. Of course. I'm honored that you asked. Still, I have my job back at the Wright Anything agency to consider too.
Don't you worry about that, Apollo. Besides, this is something only you can do.
We have nothing else to say on this matter. I blathered about it endlessly. Something only I can do.
I mean, to be completely honest, our office would be a bit short on firepower without you around, but hey.
I'm surprised Athena's not complaining. Mr. Wright.
You rang, Damon? Actually, I'm sorry, but I can't get on board with this.
Because, well, you know, they've kind of, they sort of spent the last game and this game building up all this romantic chemistry, even if it's just sort of in the background. Athena?
I mean, it's not that I like you or anything, but Baka, there's still so much I want to learn from you, Apollo. That's right. It won't be the same without you.
I mean, there's still his sister.
And everyone back home would really miss you too. There's no way I can agree to this. We're gonna henpeck you until you come back. Still, if you really wanted to stay. Yeah, Athena's right. It won't be easy, but...
But if you come and visit us every month, maybe we'll let you live and forgive you in 30 years. Athena. Trucy. Apollo. No one but you can make this decision. Know that I will not question whatever choice you make. Also, because we didn't end up resolving anything about the identity of Jove Justice,
Oh.
it means we still have one more crazy, mysterious thing in the past to bring up with Apollo. Or he really was just like a wandering minstrel guy.
Our flight leaves tomorrow morning, Apollo. Think you can make up your mind by then?
I'll try. Talk about a difficult decision. I have young, attractive women egging me on one side, and I have basically becoming a member of the royal family and a legendary hero on the other side. Should I go back to the US or wherever and continue working at the Wright Anything agency? Should I? Or should I stay in Khura'in and help Nahyuta rebuild the legal system? What's the right thing for me to do? I wonder if we get to pick.
The bus to the airport will be here any minute. I wonder where Apollo is.
Oh, man.
Do you think he decided to stay here in Khura'in? Oh my god, a scene in which Damon doesn't voice anyone. I bet he was up all night thinking. This is a life-changing decision after all.
And it's one he has to be the one to make.
But whatever he decides, I'll have to accept it.
Just like Nahyuta saying. Then there's the other tropey ending, which means that he runs off and does a third decision instead.
I guess this means no more courtroom battles alongside him.
Hey, guys!
I'd know that booming voice anywhere.
Hey! I made it!
Apollo! You're here! Does this mean you're coming home with us?
Well, about that. Mr. Wright.
Yes?
I've made up my mind.
Here it is. The moment of truth.
I still have so many things to learn from you. But I've decided to stay in Khura'in.
You're staying? But...
I feel like I have to pick up where Dhurke left off. I can't let his sacrifice go to waste. I can't let what he did for me go to waste. And Frucy, I know I'm kind of leaving you in the lurch here when it comes to your assistant slot. And Athena, I have... Anyway.
I see.
Plus, I want to teach others everything you've taught me about being a lawyer, Mr. Wright.
Apollo.
Dhurke's roadmap for the future, and your teachings. I believe that these two things will save the people of this kingdom from further unrest. I want to do this. No, I have to do this.
Apollo. I've never felt prouder.
I mean...
I don't know why I'm not saying this.
It's another dad figure.
Yeah. Proud to have such an amazing attorney working under me.
But someday, I'll return to the U.S. Once the new legal system here is firmly in place, I'll be back. Scout's honor.
Just in time for the next game. Will we really see you again, Apollo?
You bet. Not that I have any idea how long it'll be, but I promise you this, everyone. I'll keep on learning and growing, and I'll come back an even better lawyer.
I like seeing him from this angle.
Yeah, I agree. So don't you forget about me.
Of course we won't, Apollo.
Got that, Athena? Don't forget about me, because I'm not going to say anything, and so I'll leave you with just enough kind words that you're not sure what my intentions are, and so you're not going to do anything either for a couple of years.
There will always be a spot waiting for you back at the office. In the meantime, we'll be rooting for you, so knock 'em dead. Not literally.
You got it, Mr. Wright.
I said not literally.
I'll kill them all!
Oh. I'm gonna miss you, Polly. Who else will I saw in half?
No, they've been together a long time.
But if this is it, then I'm going to support your choice all the way.
After all, Apollo's always supported her, right? Thanks, Tracy. Good luck with your magic act. I know you'll do Troop Gramarye proud.
I'll be cheering for you too, Apollo. But don't think you're the only one with room to grow. The next time we meet, you probably won't even recognize me. We'll battle in the courtroom.
Let me see. What's that phrase? I can't remember if it's Chinese or Japanese. I think it's Japanese. No, it's Chinese, and I think it's attributed to Lu Meng. Something like, if you haven't seen a man in 3 days, you may not be able to recognize him. Or don't be surprised if you don't recognize him.
I think I've heard you say that before.
Something like that. Well, quote that I vaguely remember that's butchered. Take that, Happy New Year! In other words, game on, huh? Maybe I'll face you in a civil suit.
You bet, and I'm gonna win!
I'll sue the pants off you!
Psych suplex!
Ah!
I'm going to miss you too, Apollo. But I can't wait to see where your new adventure will take you. Well, there's our bus. I guess this is it, Apollo.
By the way, since international phone rates are so expensive, I'll never call you, and I'm certainly never going to email you anything. Nor am I going to send you a letter. We'll never see each other, and I'll never even speak with you, even though this world is more modern than the actual real world. And we're all so close together. But that's the way it is. I'll never forget everything you've done for me, Mr. Wright. I don't know how I'll ever repay you.
Well, you literally saved my life, so...
More than once, come to think of it. Here's to seeing you back in the U.S. again, what? Here's to seeing me back in the U.S. again someday. Until then, you know where to find me.
All right, Trucy, get in the suitcase. We'll have to smuggle you back into the States. The legacy of those who came before us.
Why do I have to do this? This is so humiliating.
Is handed down from parent to child. Ha! And from mentor to disciple. We must never stall or stagnate, but continue to grow and change. All that we've been taught, the beliefs and convictions that have been passed down to us, we must continue to nurture them so we, in turn, can pass them on to the next generation.
Something that I really, really like about the Ace Attorney series is that... Well, I'll shut up for a second.
It's cutscene!
Are you really sure you're okay with him staying, boss?
Uh-huh. I always figured he'd leave the nest someday.
I guess he bought her a ticket.
Oh, I think they're almost here.
Oh, Shadow, no!
Just a little. Got it. Huh?
Why don't we go and check it out, AJ?
What a remarkably happy ending.
Yeah.
On a big scale.
Ha! Of course.
Well, in a country like this, why not?
I did mention that ghosts are a common thing.
Justice law offices. As I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by the closing cutscene, something that I've really liked.
Go on, Mr. Hat. Introduce yourself.
I'm the amazing Mr. Hat. Nice to meet you. I wanted to take this opportunity to announce my solo debut.
It seems Mr. Hat doesn't want Apollo to leave either.
We're fierce rivals, you know. I can't let him hog the spotlight.
It's just not the same without Polly, is it?
Yeah, I kind of miss him too.
I know. We should go visit him in Khura'in.
Can I get a passport?
I'll stuff you in the suitcase.
After seeing Mr. Justice in action, I got to thinking, what can I do for Khura'in? Then it came to me, tourism, that's what! I'll develop Khura'in's tourism industry and bring in more visitors. I'll roll out a night tour centered on the Founder's Orb, and make a museum dedicated to the Defiant Dragons. Boy, the ideas just keep on coming!
You're just going to keep getting interrupted by the closing credits.
I'm just gonna give up. I'll get there eventually. I want to congratulate you on becoming a forensic investigator, Detective Sky. Thank you, but Prosecutor Sadmati says he has need of me, so starting in tomorrow, I'll be working in Khura'in for a while. Look at it this way, it's sure to be an educational experience, true? Plus, I can't let that kid show me up either. I'll see what I can do for Khura'in's revolution. Challenges, help people grow. I look forward to your next investigation. Leave your mark, teach others forensics. Your dream.
Speaking of challenges, it's time for a speed run. Darn that forehead face! Ever since you revealed the secret behind our teleportation trick, show requests have totally dried up.
We'll be out on the street if we don't find some work soon. Maybe we should take Trucy up on her offer. She said we could make our debut as magicians as to write any...
Shut up! I'm gonna show her up someday on my own terms!
Nothing fires you up like a bitter rivalry.
I don't even think that was the voice I used, but I didn't have time to remember.
Same here! Yep, Duetta Casey. That's who I kept trying to remember. Huh? I don't dare say anything!
Khura'in is just like this child right now, full of life and limitless possibilities. I have faith that Dhurke and my darling Tress will...
Shut up! I don't have anything to say! We'll see Dhurke's legacy through to the end! You don't get to talk, just me! And just for Junior their secret to dust pose! Let me throw some firecrackers at your kid!
Oh, it sounds like little Feta?
Feta?
Feta in me? Feta in me. I didn't even see the rest of the line.
Feta in me.
Faith in me?
That's what I was thinking, maybe?
Yeah, I think there was supposed to be faith in me. I've been pulling double duty ever since Apollo left, but that's okay. I'm going to make Simon recognize me for the awesome lawyer that I am. She's breaking in her boots. Widget, I can do it, and I will. Mr. Wright will be calling me his right-hand woman before you know it. Let's do this.
Doesn't this kind of seem like it's actually the end of the series?
Kind of, yeah.
At least with these characters?
Oh, I'm surprised I'm here.
Bucky, how dare you deliver me my order in such a sorry state?
Don't be mad, Shiny. It still tastes fine. Here, try some.
You're giving me old vomit? Gah. Great big pillock. I just lost my appetite because of you.
So did I.
Hard to find good help these days, wouldn't you say, old chum? What?
I don't know.
Maybe he was in fact talking to Bucky, but, well, we just don't have enough time.
That trial the other day really inspired me. I've even created a Rakugo routine based on Shishio's K. Oh god, no! It's a mystery story that'll keep flipping the audience's thinking on its head. It's called The Scary Udon Noodle. You're giving away too much in the title. Keeping the Tornado School going is our way of paying penance and repaying our debt to Shishio. And that includes Rakugo training for that kid, Owen.
Huh. What a weird, happy ending for Wendo?
Juggling so many characters. With my newfound mobility, even ancient ruins and their fancy schmancy Tomb Raider troops are no match for me! Die! Maggot! The university where my father works is one day I'll discover an unknown ancient civilization
nice.
And dedicate it to him. I'll also be going on a dig in crime.
Why are you talking like that?
That private justice had better not be slacking off. Maggot!
I know, what else do you want me to say? I'm gonna be super busy now that I'm the head of the Fae clan. Don't worry, Mystic Maya. I'll do whatever I can to help. Thanks, Pearly. Our first order of business will be to revolutionize Khura'in Village. Oh, I have an idea. How about opening a store where we can buy new outfits like the city girls wear? Well, look who's grown up, but I think there are a few... Just let her leave if she wants to leave. She wants a revolutionary makeover. I guess she wants to grow up.
Yeah.
Mother, now that you've stopped being Nana, I want a new Nana.
I wonder if there would be anyone willing to serve you in that capacity. You are quite a handful, after all.
I am?
With a simple wave of your hand, you would have your attire changed, meals prepared, and even your teeth brushed.
To think I put such undue burden upon you, you a grand priestess.
Fear not, Rayfa. You will have plenty of time in which to make amends. Perhaps you could start with one of your famous shoulder rubs?
Oh, that was kind of sweet. Her benevolence has taken to calling me Braidhead. Hey, we're right on one. Even worse, she trembles and her face turns red when she speaks with me. What have I done to deserve? I'm merciless within the halls of justice, but to be given such a dismissive name is entirely uncalled for. What am I to do? Perhaps I shall consult Apollo. Let it go and move the heck on.
This is why we like to control the pace of the text. We'd like to talk about the game, but it's not letting us.
All right. What?
Great. He's a respectable lawyer in his own right. He even has his own practice called Justice Law Offices. Oh, before I forget, I made a copy of this photo for you.
Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a
Is that
minute!
his mom?
It is his freaking mom!
Don't you think it's about time we told them the truth?
They have known about Apollo and Trucy.
Wow.
Oh, and she's saying to tell him the truth.
Like you were saying! Like, that's the only big thing that could still happen is him meeting his mom. Okay!
And resolving the bit with his dad.
Okay, I think we can actually safely talk now.
All right, now, all I was going to say was something that's always really strongly appealed to me about the Ace Attorney series is that I do actually share the basic worldview that is espoused by the games.
The pursuit of truth?
Yeah, I value the truth and even came to think about the truth, not because of the game.
Right.
But I began to think about it because of the game, not just adopt the game's idea. But not only truth, but just like what doing the right thing means and why it should be valuable and valued. And so I generally think the same way as the game, so I really appreciate that. It's always made it really easy for me to dive right in, and I tend to be unable...
And get involved with the characters and the setting?
Yeah, I tend to be unable to put them down pretty much at all. So I also think that this was totally... I do think that compared to the rest of the game, the ending was kind of weak.
Uh-huh.
But that's because the rest of the game was so strong, and they normally have really good endings. And the last case is very possibly the best, or second best maybe. Either the best or the second best final case. So even with the ending, that's okay.
Okay.
It's like, I'm not willing to throw the baby out with the bathwater in terms of like criticizing the end, but even the dual Destinies ending. I was about to say Dual Justice. Even the Dual Destinies ending actually had more of an effect on me, I guess.
I see.
Thought it was stronger. So yeah, I do think this game really deserves its reputation.
I certainly enjoyed it. I mean, not just because of my own personal proclivities towards parentage.
Yeah, it's like, it seems as though our Let's Play channel is the...
help Billy deal with his father issues?
Yeah, help Billy deal with his past and parents.
I can't really think of anything else to say at this point, except thank you. Thank you for joining us on this journey.
Yeah, seriously, thank you guys very, very much.
We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
If there is anybody interested in us maybe getting around to one of the other games in the series, let us know. Yep. Dear Mr. Wright, I can't believe it's already been a few months since I decided... Haven't... Okay. I did the best I could!
Hey!
Dear Mr. Wright, I can't believe it's already been a few months since I decided to stay. I'm sorry I haven't been good about keeping in touch. What did I say? But at least he did write a letter in a few months. So that means my rant...
Well, that's understandable.
Yeah, that's fine. My rant is fine. I take that back. That did not happen. But things have been really hectic. Rebuilding a legal system I'm not yet familiar with has been a real challenge. But I will say, it's given me plenty of work to keep me busy.
Have you not given the autopsy report even a cursory glance, Mr. Justice?
By being able to give something a cursory glance, that would require that I have the time to spare said glance, however cursory it may be. It's just I have 15 clients on my plate right now. Though I probably shouldn't have accepted all 15 at the same time. Suddenly my record against you looks as though it will improve. Oh, please. Are you going to help me rebuild Khura'in's legal system or not? And if you are, well then sit down and take a beating from me.
Man up!
If you are, we need to move through this case backlog faster.
Ah,
Yeah, I know. That's why I took all 15. But besides, those 15 are only the beginning. There are 10 more awaiting your services. Ah! Oh, God!
I too have friends and acquaintances seeking legal representation.
Oh, no!
And being that you are the only lawyer in the country, I told them to contact you.
Help!
I estimate it will only add about 16 clients to your caseload.
31! Huh? No! Just wait 1 minute! I've been handing out advertisements for your new office. It is my intent to help you as much as possible, Hornhead. They read... From legal advice to investigating extramarital affairs, even yak milking. It is very important that in the event you're not able to gain enough business, that here in Khura'in you have many skills that will enable you to earn a living, such as yak milking and investigating other people's affairs. For a limited time only, these services and more are free down at Justice Law offices, because I'm trying to help you. I have already received requests from 380 new clients. I will go and kill myself. I'm going to have to say something about this one, aren't I? I suppose I shan't say what I've been doing to drum up more business for you. I trust you did your cords of steel exercises this morning. I detect that Damon's voice is cracking ever so slightly. Well, go on. There is no need to hold back.
Now that you mention it, we have yet to hear you shout today.
Yes, and I have grown quite drowsy from these tedious proceedings, so it will wake me up. I could use a loud something to wake me up. Do not disappoint me, Hornhead.
Dots, get her!
I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm screwed! There's really only one thing to say at a time like this. Okay, we'll do this one straight. It's a word I've said countless times in my career, but one I'll never tire of. Objection!
The spider web.
Well done. Oh, and in the event that there is interest in us doing more Ace Attorney, we're not gonna do it right away. Just making sure that expectation is set.
We don't want to burn ourselves out after all.
Really, thank you again. We couldn't have done any of this without you guys. Just like Apollo has had quite a lot of people supporting him, we've had quite a lot of support too, and we are so grateful for all of you. Thank you so much for giving us, well, so much of your confidence and so much of your time, and I hope you guys got something out of it too. See you next time.
Later, everyone.
And before we go, I am always on the Discord. No one's been able to chase me off yet, so if you're interested, links in the description.
We're the Bittersweet Gamers, and this Let's Play has been complete!